The next person I'd like you to meet is Blake Carlson. He's somebody who I truly consider to be a mentor of mine. He's actually David's father-in-law as well. Blake and my dad are about the same age. They went to high school together, and a lot of our family ranches actually border each other. And Blake is one of those people who's really believed in the Ugly Company from the start. And without his help, without his belief in the vision I had for his ugly fruit, it would be really difficult for us to be here today. So meet Blake Carlson. He's one of a kind.
My name's Blake Carlson. I grow stone fruit, peaches, plums, nectarines, and pluots. So I'm a farmer. We grow stone fruit here in Kingsburg, California. We started in 1984, fall of 1984. I graduated high school in 1981, went to a junior college. I was studying to become a pest control advisor. Figured that'd be the only way I'd be associated with agriculture because my dad was primarily insurance. Just about ready to graduate Fresno State with a plant science degree and working towards that PCA license. Gentleman neighborhood, probably more your neighborhood than my neighborhood at that time, came up and offered me an opportunity. His name was Pete Lawrence, and he had just turned 65 and was looking to slow down and retire a little bit, and he asked if I wouldn't at least 100 acres. And my dad had worked for him as a kid in high school and college, and so I took that opportunity, and God blessed us. Had some really good years to start with, and we were able to float through the bad years and hang on to the good years, and yeah, it's been good. Been a good run. Okay.
So what keeps you into it? What's your favorite part?
I don't know, I'm just crazy enough to love it. It's fun, it's challenging. Every day's a different day. It's real labor intensive, but I love the workers. A lot of the workers have been with us for, heck, I've been doing this now since '84, so a lot of them have been with me ever since then. It's kind of growing old together. Every year's a different year. You start out and you get a new variety, you want to learn how to prune it, you need to learn how to thin it, you want to learn how to feed it. Then weather comes through, if you look at the big billowy clouds today, it's a major hail come through yesterday. These aren't quite so susceptible, but if the hail had been any harder, probably could have stripped those trees. Call it the witching hour. It seems like it's always like 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The ground warms, the clouds come over, get an inversion, and the thunder hits and the rain comes, and it comes to flying ice. But so these are peaches. They're less susceptible than nectarines or plums because the peach has that fuzz as a protection. Right now, they're pretty much protected. They're in their little, we call them jackets. If you want to think like a caterpillar, they're in their little cocoon right now. So this is your flower, and it gets pollinated, and it goes down in there, and it fertilizes a seed, and it becomes a peach. So as you can see, they're pretty much, their blooming is done. You flip them like that, and the petals fall off. They're pretty much done. So what's been pollinated is ready to go. So they're protected in this little cocoon, but pretty soon they're going to come out of their cocoon, and you're going to have this little tiny peach. And once it's out of that cocoon, like I say, it's got fuzz, so it still has a little bit of a protective layer. The nectarines, the plums, they're not as protected. So when the hail comes through, which is literally flying ice, it's hard, and it leaves an abrasion on it. And that abrasion, the average person doesn't like because it's ugly. So typically we're gonna have to throw it away. If it's a severe hailstorm and multiple people get wiped out, you'll still get somewhat of a market for it because some people will tolerate it because they do want the fruit. But for the most part, if hail might hit this 10-acre block and miss that 10-acre block. And it might just checkerboard all throughout the valley as it travels through, but hail can be pretty devastating.
Does that affect the way it tastes at all? Or?
No, not at all. It's just, if it's a really large hail and makes a cut, it can cause that fruit to decay immediately. But once, typically, it makes an abrasion, and it's just like scratching your arm, and it heals. but it'll leave a scar, and that scar is just ugly. And then, you know, it all depends on how severe that is whether we throw it away. But typically, in the retail markets today, they want a perfect piece of fruit. So, you know, this peach right here, we're typically going to leave 700 pieces of fruit. And on any given day, if we have perfect weather, I'm going to throw away 10 to 20%, just because. It's just not going to have the right size or the right, you have a little blemish from whatever, you're going to throw it away. So to be able to market something that won't go into the major retail outlets, that typically I'm going to throw it away to get some sort of value out of it, it does one of two things. It keeps bad fruit from getting into the market that the retailer is going to knock you down for, and it's also, it just helps build everybody up because you're moving that product through and you're getting something for it. Because it did cost to thin it, it cost to pick it, it cost to feed it, it cost to irrigate it. So to get some of that cost back is a huge benefit.
And so when I approached you with the idea with Ugly, can you tell me just some of your initial thoughts and you know, be completely honest, like what you thought about what I was doing and where it would go, etc.
Yeah, you know what? I like the concept. I was worried about the product, whether it was really going to be a product that someone would desire. And you graciously left me with 3 or 4 bags, and it was phenomenal. I was really very impressed. They're gone now. I ate them. So yeah, there you go. There you go. But no, and they were, the packaging, the exterior packaging is great, but the product on the inside was, it was moist, dried yet moist, and it was good. It was very flavorful too. So yeah, I think it's a great concept, and I think it can take off. It's all in the marketing, right? So yeah, we can grow it. We can be the best growers in the world, but at the end of the day, it's all in that marketing. So
and so, you know, definitely I've learned when I work with growers, there's a certain amount of trust you have to develop with the person that you're working with, because it's a lot to ask to come into somebody's packing shed and try and, you know, kind of change their process a little bit and ask almost for a favor. Hey, can you work with me on a forklift driver, and I need some bins or whatever it may be. So what kind of your thoughts with that when I started asking about Ugly and if we'd be able to work together and whatnot?
Well, it's a mindset. When you first ask, my first thought is, okay, how are we going to handle it? And we're so geared to sorting it out and throwing it away, we do that very efficiently. Now, to interrupt that flow, to get the ugly fruit that you desire, but not decayed fruit, and separate the two, it interrupts that flow. So how I make that flow work where it doesn't inhibit what we're trying to do, yet get you the product that you desire, we have that figured out, and it's going to work.